Hey, welcome to the big show. I'm Rudy Maxa. I'm a travel journalist, and to my side, on my right, on your left, is Tommy Danielsen. He is an expert on all things involving frequent flyer points and miles for hotel loyalty programs and rental car loyalty programs, and of course, airline loyalty programs. And I'm going to just turn my phone on to mute because I haven't done that yet. And then we'll get going. I will tell you right now, it is October 3rd, a Thursday, and I tell you that because sometimes people watch this later on YouTube and they don't know what day they're watching it. They don't know the information is current. But as of October 3rd, 2024, as far as we know, everything we're going to talk about today is current. And of course, we're talking about all aspects of travel. And let's start. I think you're going to put up that Virgin Atlantic press release, aren't you, Tommy? Virgin Atlantic.
Not a press release, just the announcements they made on their website. Yes.
They have announced that as of October 30th, they're changing and going to dynamic pricing when it comes to award tickets for miles. This is what many major airlines have done, and Virgin is sort of slow in getting into that. They're telling you you're going to have to pay more Virgin points for business class and their comfort class of coach. However, they're going to offer a lot more lower coach rates for tickets, as low as 6,000 points between London and New York. If you can go between London and New York for 12,000 Virgin points, that's a great deal. You're going to be in a coach seat. I don't know how many are available, but there you go.
Yeah, but I think, also which is important thing that when it comes to Virgin Atlantic, they have astronomical fuel surcharges, quote unquote fuel surcharges, which they're not allowed to call it anymore. They have to call it carrier imposed fees.
That's into London. You can fly him somewhere else, though, Tommy. If you can fly him into Paris or something.
No, you can't do that. They only fly in and out of London. They don't fly anywhere else.
So changing planes, do you get billed the same thing for landing in London?
There are things that you can do, but they don't really have that much. It's very difficult to get ticketed on their website on the rates that they have, but it doesn't matter though. You still have to. It's not that people are have the misconception that the reason why the prices are higher is because of
airport
British taxes, which is a completely false narrative that has been pushed really, really hard by British Airways and Virgin Atlantic, who have these fees. So here are the fees and taxes and fees that you have when you go in and out of London. You have something called a luxury tax, and the luxury tax is not valid when you are going to London. So if you're flying from New York to London, there are no taxes and fees other than the luxury tax is only for departing London Heathrow if your journey originates there. So, those taxes and fees are $169 US is how much they cost.
For a coach.
And what for the luxury, there is no taxes on coach, and that's any more higher up than anything else in the space. The taxes are on business class and first, and there are some to an extent higher on premium economy, but that's less than $100, meaning that if you were to fly from LAX, for example, to London, it's $1,000 in taxes and fees, and out of
on your free award ticket.
On your free business class award tickets, it's over $1,000 or around $1,000 one way.
Right.
And so, and out of that, if you originate here, that tax, the luxury tax is zero. It's just normal taxes, like $15 here and $20 here, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to know how much it actually is, you can just go into Google flights and then do a search and see how much the taxes are. So these are fees that they're charging. So for when Virgin are saying, oh, we are only charging you 6,000 points, that means that they charge for economy class. I think it's probably, you know what? Let's go to the videotape. Let's go see here how much they actually want for that. That's really live on the air. Actually, this is a recorded thing now because we're going to try something new today. But if we were to go and search for points plus money, you know what? We're going to do that. Let me see. I don't want to show my account number and all that stuff, so I'm going to take that off for a second. But this is good journalism right here. Let's stop sharing for a second until I log on to the account.
All right. Well, let me say some other things while you're doing that, so you can think straight. They are touting the fact that members of their frequent flyer program will be able to use their companion or upgrade vouchers on any seat, which is removing some constraints. And that also they're going to make all seats available for award tickets instead of just a certain number, as most airlines
Exactly,
do.
based on the revenue of the ticket, how much it costs in real
Right.
life. That
Right.
is how that works. So it is commendable, though, that they will be keeping at the level that they have now. There will be something called Saver Awards. They're not getting rid of that altogether like they
Right.
did, like many of the other programs have just, Southwest, for example, it's all based on that. So if
Well,
we
as
were
a
to
contrast, in 2022, Virgin Atlantic only made 12 seats available on every flight for Flying Club members. Now they're saying if there's a seat available and you're a Flying Club member and you want to use points and we've got a seat available, you'll get it. That's the good news.
Right. Well, so I think they've actually removed. The. It's funny that they've removed it from their website. So they're doing a beta thing right now. But if we were to say that we are going from JFK to London, I'm just going to make sure that we have I think that they've actually removed it already for the award stuff for this month, and see what they have. It says pay with money, but usually it said pay with money and miles, or a combination of both of them, and that's actually not happening right now. But let me go in and see.
Paying for miles?
Here we go. I was able to fix that. You go in. So now I'm going to share the screen. Of course, they wanted me to log in again. Oh my, are you kidding me? So here we go. So I'm all in the background now, doing a double, triple, quadruple verification of various things. And of course, something here I already just did that. So it's kind of interesting that's the case, but let's try again and see. No, I think that there are some of these guys that are going to revenue only, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But of course, the downtime we're talking about here, meaning that the high seasons of the year, is going to be obviously a big. It's going to be a big part of it, right? So which means that it says Saver Awards, and if you go in the winter, you're going to have the ability to get that stuff, but it'll be interesting to see what the pricing will be, because they haven't dropped this just yet. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you my screen here, and we can do that by doing like this and share screen. We go back to where we were, and there we go. All right. So if we were to look here, how much it costs.
One way New York to London?
One way New York to London, where there are no taxes. Here you go. So $152 in economy class is how much it is.
Okay.
And there are no such taxes. It's just a made up thing. Here you go. Premium, $467 plus $17,500 is how much that costs. It's no upper class available for this particular day, but let's go and try.
I bet it's $1,000 at least.
Well, from New York it is. Let's go. Let's figure out what we're talking about here. So we are talking about, maybe there are in the middle of the week, there is an upper class seat available. There is not for these days. Let's try on a Monday and see there.
This is New York flying to London, and there is a fee, and I think it's $1,000 if you use miles for a business class ticket.
Right.
At least $1,000.
That's exactly what I told you earlier. So if we were to go, for example, we'll do LAX, though it's even worse. And I can immediately tell you that these fees are eating up the profits here. So it's here you go, $1,042 in tax. Yeah. And it's also, they're also lying, flat out lying. They have been told by the government they're not allowed to call this as a tax, because it's not a tax. All
right, how about coming back? Don't you have to pay the same amount coming back? You said
no, it's out? Actually it might be, but the tax, there are no taxes like this going into London. That premium tax,
the fee
you have to pay that too. Yeah, so that means that it's $2,000 to redeem a business class.
Right.
Round and trip. Here you go, 467 plus 27.5 from LA.
So $900 round trip premium.
Right. And so let's keep that in mind. If we were to tool around with the with this scummy stuff, and we're going to do a round trip instead, and we'll do a say we do the 17th and we go back a week later, right? Let's see what the total ends up being, if it's available. And this is why you have so it's $815 is how much it is for premium
in premium.
Right. And then it's $30,000 plus $500 in quote unquote tax.
30,000 miles.
Let's go and see how much it costs if we were to go from LAX to London Heathrow in coach, and let's just do a quick little search here. You can see what I'm doing right now, right?
Yep.
If you go on United on a paid flight, right? If you
Yep.
pay for it, you go nonstop on United, and you go back on United on the nonstop from London. Look at that, $616 to flat out buy it.
Yeah, right.
To purchase a ticket. You don't use any miles. Do what you need to do. And here we have Virgin wanting $500 in tax plus plus. So they want $500 in tax round trip plus 30,000.
Right.
And if you look at what United wants, they want to have $616. So it's $116 is what you're saving by flat out buying it. So Virgin in economy class across the Atlantic, it is a racket, both them and British Airways. If we look at, for example, let's look at New York and see how much that is. It's probably even less. $396 on JetBlue is how much it is for nonstop to London round trip.
Yeah, round trip.
Yeah, round trip.
Yeah,
and
cheaper than the fee that Virgin's charging with you using your Virgin.
Yeah, well, I think it's less from New York, but let's try that. Let's try New York and see how much it is in taxes and see. It's probably about the same, right? If it is available for those states, which I'm sure it is. But yeah, no, it's yes, look at that. $555 in taxes. And
okay.
JetBlue wants $396 for a round trip.
All right. So shop around. Now we have spent 12 minutes on this, probably enough, but you get the idea. Virgin
you get the idea that always check, because that's the thing. Virgin is, you got to pay attention. What Virgin gives good value is, like, if you were flying in business class from here, it's $1,000 in fees and it's 67,000 miles. It's the trade-off is that it's always available, right?
Right.
All right.
Okay. What do you got?
I have an interesting update from the Villa V. You remember we talked about this. This is the old MS Braemar from Fred Olsen, and was also in China for a while for MS Crown Dynasty over in Asia.
This one you live on, right?
Right. So you could buy a cabin on the ship starting at about $100,000, and you own it, and then you pay maintenance fees per month for $4,000 to $5,000. I think it's you can get it down to like $7,000 total per couple for an inside cabin.
For a month,
and there was a lot of drama here.
For a month or a year, is that $7,000?
So the $7,000 is per month. That's maintenance fee that includes all the meals and you traveling around the world. So it's not that bad, Rudy. Think about it. So if you're a single person and you pay $4,000 a month, and that includes all the meals, alcohol with various drinks included, and your house is never in the same place, right? So I've seen worse offering. It's pretty inexpensive. What the fun part here is the drama that's going on, right? There are a ton of YouTube channels from guys that are on board. Somebody had been booted from it. They've been in Belfast. They were supposed to sail in June. They were supposed to sail in August, and there was movement yesterday about this stuff. So they have a lot of ups and downs for those people who bought into this thing and paid in $100,000 to $300,000 to be an owner. And about 2 weeks ago, they were told that, hey, they got a per diem. They stayed at hotels in Belfast, and they said, hey, we can't afford it. The cruise line can't afford it anymore. So
these were people who had already bought it, thought they were about to take off on it, and flew there getting ready to board. And then the line said, sorry, we're not quite ready to go yet.
Yeah, so they were put up in hotels, or they got a per diem or piece of it, of their cost they were paid. That was 2-3 weeks ago that the cruise line said, hey, we're not going to pay for this anymore. You're on your own. And then there was a lot of back and forth. And all of a sudden, they got approval early last week. And they went, it was funny, 3 days ago, they actually were able to board. On Monday this week, they were able to board the ship, and they went from the port, but there was no destination. They went out and they were anchored up outside of, quite a ways outside of Belfast. Maybe there were some technical things that they had to do, but they didn't share that with the residents. And then the ship went back to Belfast. And then on Tuesday night, it went out again to the anchor, or Wednesday, they went out to the anchor and back. And today is Thursday. And what do you know? I was pretty skeptical that things were going to happen. Right now, they are on their way to the first destination, which is Brest in France. You know, they're chugging along at 14 knots, so we're not talking about full speed ahead like on Royal Caribbean or anything like that. They are actually on their way, though, which is unbelievable. Here's Dublin right here. This is like a flight tracker for ships that I didn't know existed, but obviously it makes sense that it does. And the first stop on this journey is in Brest in northern France, in Normandy, right?
Yeah, I wonder if they pulled out a port just to say port charges, while the people who hadn't flown in advance actually caught up with the ship and flew over to board it in Belgium. So,
isn't Brest, isn't that in France?
Do we know how full it is or not full? Or?
I checked their website recently, how Villa V Odyssey. Let's check it live, because you can actually go to the website and see what's available. That clam and cabin info. So let's go and see what's available. On the top floor, the red ones are sold.
Okay.
So there are definitely things available.
The green ones are not sold?
The green ones are available. You can buy one for sure.
Okay.
Green ones on the top floor, most of them are available. When you come down in the lower categories, it seems that there's more available. And then at the lower piece of it, there's looks like all of the inside cabin, the cheapo ones are gone, but there are outsides available.
What does yellow mean?
Yellow means that they have segments booking, so they sell pieces of it.
Right.
So you can get on the ship and you can get off the ship. That
what
means
was the
that
next one you went to that was all red? You just flicked on it.
I think that they blocked this out, to be honest with you. I think these were the intro ones. I know a lot of them are sold. I know we've seen people that are on these floors on YouTube channels, but I don't think they're all sold. That doesn't seem feasible to me. So I think that they will be opening up them later. I think they want to buy want people to buy more expensive cabins, right? Mm-hmm. So if we were to look at it, so this is how much it costs. You buy a 169,000, gets you an outside window, and you pay $4,000 a month in the fees. Or if there's two of you, you pay $24.99, so $5,000. So it's $2,500 a person, which doesn't. And the cabins don't look like this. They have redone these cabins. They look completely different than this does, to be honest with you. If you go up to the higher levels where you have balconies and such, it costs $149,000. Well, it's the same price for the obstructed outside. It looks like obstructed view. So it's the same one. Where are the balcony ones? Do they not have those? Here we go. Balcony ones are $319,000 and $8,000 a month for a balcony. So, but the question is, would you buy it though? Would you buy it today, or now that we see that it's moving, or should one wait for a little bit and see if it actually maybe the guys are running so low on cash that
they'll shut it down,
running on fumes?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, they're starting to chug along. I think they got to do it. I mean, what are they going to do? Stop in Hong Kong? Okay, we ran out of money. Everybody go home.
It might happen. That's what I'm afraid of will happen. But at this point, I color me impressed that they actually got on their way. They got everything approved. They are now cruising, and it's going along. And people are having. Looks like the videos I've seen on YouTube, people are having a good time.
Is there like one guy behind this whole thing?
It's it's a substantial amount of money. It's a guy that has, he was a part of a Turkish conglomerate before. He's not Turkish. He's from somewhere else in Europe. But he was a part of a former attempt to start something like that. They bought a ship, though, that was never approved to do this kind of cruising. And so they discontinued. The guy who is the CEO here was the guy who was the sales guy for that cruise line.
Okay. All right.
And the cruise line in Turkey was the real deal, if you will, because it was a big ferry company in Turkey. So they paid everybody back that had bought into that old concept. This is the guy starting up, and he's the CEO, and his wife is the chief commercial officer and some other stuff. So it's an interesting gig, but we're going to keep an eye on it. So for right now, they're in Brest, and we'll check in with them next week or whenever we are able to do a thing next time. All
Okay.
right, we are moving on to Point Me, which is a website that helps you look up award availability, and also a sponsor of ours for our loyalty summits. And they made a report of ranking the top loyalty program in the world, value-wise. And we're going to take a look a little bit at that. What do you think is going to be? Who do you think is going to be on the list?
Alaska? I don't know.
All right. So the
Is
score.
that the list?
That is the list. Yes, it's kind of small, but
It is kind of small.
the winner is Flying Blue, and I think that's funny because
I think
it's
we should explain that's KLM and Air France.
Yeah, Flying Blue is Air France and KLM, and you can also fly obviously One World partners like Delta and other guys like that.
I like Flying Blue a lot, actually. I don't book my tickets on Delta, even though that's where all my miles are. I mean, I put all my miles on Flying Blue now because they're a lot less. I can fly on Delta using Flying Blue miles for a lot less than I can fly on Delta using Delta miles. Let's put it that way. So
I think that there are some issues there with change fees and policies like that, and that kind of is the only issue that I have. But I use them too, and I think what is great about them is that they offer you miles and point tickets too. Miles tickets too. They offer you the ability to upgrade. So I redeemed from.
Yes.
I redeemed from Copenhagen back to LA here. It was only available. I had to change my flight and some other stuff, so I had to use miles in order to get home. And I redeemed for me and Melinda, and we were able to. And the cost for premium economy was like 35,000 miles plus a couple $100 in fees. From Copenhagen through Paris and to LA. And when we checked in, we got for $495. We were able to upgrade to business class.
Well, I think you got to underline that. That's the difference between Flying Blue and most airlines. When you get to the airport, if you've got like a premium economy ticket, you can say, "Are you doing any cash upgrades?"
Right.
I've had the last time I flew to Paris, I think. Yeah, for $320, we'll put you in business class. I was like, I'll take it.
Right.
Flying back on KLM, quote KLM/Delta, using Flying Blue points. I asked if we could upgrade, and I think it cost me like $400. But I mean, to be able to upgrade to business class for $300 or $400 is a bargain on a one-way.
Yeah, they have a lot of that, and I think most of the flights. The only thing is that there's one particular flight from LA to Europe that Air France has that is very, very busy because of the number of business customers flying out of the wealthiest area in the U.S., California, Southern California. That it is very hard to get that upgrade. So, but from Europe to here, it's very, very, very easy. I've been offered it every single time. Of course, usually there's availability to redeem business class also right off the bat, which isn't that many miles either. It's only like 60,000. So,
well, at the airport, I never get offered it. I have to ask. But there's always been out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. I've always been able to do it. And try doing that on American, United, or Delta. Go up to them and say, "Hey, I got to, can I buy my way up to the front of the plane?" And they'll go, "No,
because that's already been given away / sold and whatnot." So, but
it's
a very. The advice is when you use Flying Blue miles is to definitely check in the app and also on the website to see if there's any offer to buy up. It's a lot cheaper than you are if you're in economy, which costs like 20,000, 15,000 sometimes miles to fly to Europe, and very little fuel surcharges or carrier imposed fees. And they often have premium economy for just a couple $100 to buy up, which is a tremendous value.
Right. Who's second? I can't see. Is
Second
it Air,
place is Air Canada Aeroplan, and
followed by United? Is that United under them?
United is in third place. Yeah, they're United is on the ball with customer service. There's no change fees and things like that. It's just that the prices have gone up lately, and they've got very low availability on many things. But close in, there's availability. United to me is a better currency in that sense. I think that Air Canada Aeroplan has stringent change fees and policies, and their customer service is terrible. Getting them on the phone can take hours, and so if you have to make a change or something and something happens, as if they're rebooking or whatever, it is a pain in the butt, but it has availability that other places might not be able to find. The fourth and fifth, you've got British Airways and Virgin Atlantic, who has a lot of availability, but they obviously have a crazy amount
Fees.
of fees. Yeah, and also you can see that the redemption rates are it's that must be where they take it into account. It's very difficult to see. American Airlines Advantage is in seventh place. Alaska is in eighth. Qatar is in ninth.
Where's
I
Delta?
see that my favorite is Avianca Life Miles, which I use more often than not. They have the worst customer service. They got a lot of change fees and policies like that. But if you are close in, actually,
Where's Delta, Tommy?
Pardon?
I can't see Delta on there, but it's very small on my screen.
Delta is
Way down?
far down here. They're like in 25th place and whatnot.
Great. The airline I got 1,000,000 miles on. Great.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just short haul. You'll be able to get rid of that. It shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I think that is fair enough. I think that their reasoning is good. And Tiffany, who's the co-founder and president of this company, she's worked with Ben Schloppig at 1 Mile at a Time for a long time. She is definitely the brains and business acumen of that operation. So she's doing really well with this company. They just raised another $15 million for this company for fundraising for expansion. So look out. They're sure they have a lot of fun stuff up their sleeve.
All right. Can I transition to while we're talking about frequent flyer miles? The Points guy came out with an interesting little video on Instagram today, in which he pointed out that the marriage between Alaskan and Hawaiian Airlines offers you some opportunities for inexpensive award tickets to Asia. That if you have a lot of American Express points, that you can transfer to Alaska and then transfer to Hawaiian, because you can now transfer between Alaska and Hawaiian. You can use Hawaiian miles to get Asian tickets for a lot cheaper than most any other carrier in North America. So there you go.
There are some sweet spots for sure. So I would definitely check out those opportunities. Take a peek at the Hawaiian Airlines map. But I think that the good thing here is that you transfer them over and you use them in Alaska. You don't use them in Hawaiian, right? That's how you do it. You move your Amex points to Hawaiian, and then you move them from Hawaiian to Alaska. Alaska has a very desirable miles. They've got a lot of sweet spots in their programs, and I was and that's a sweet spot. I don't know how these programs are going to be combined, and who the transfer partners are going to be if the Hawaiian relationship. So I say strike while the iron's hot, move over to Hawaiian if you have a lot of Amex points, and then over to Alaska, and thank me later. All right, so let's move over to Ryanair. When's the last time you flew Ryanair, Rudy? Did we lose Rudy? Hello? Rudolph? I see Rudolph, but I don't hear him.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I think that's I am definitely on the air, so that is interesting. But are you still there? Yeah. Why don't you try and log on and log back on again, Rudy? We will continue while Rudy's having. Yep, there he went a little bit. We'll talk a little. We'll just going to continue because it's we are running a little bit low on time here for that. But we are going to talk a little bit about the Ryanair now are abandoning they are abandoning the. You're not going to be able to check in on at the airport, and you are not going to be able to get paper boarding passes anymore. You have to check in online. It's, if you are on a flexible ticket, is what they call. It's funny. It's a little bit technical issues. I'm in my conference room at work, and when you haven't moved around for a while, it turns itself off to save electricity. So we'll see if Rudy is back. Here he is.
Sorry,
Hi, Rudy.
I lost sound there, Tommy, for a moment. I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's I could definitely hear you the whole time, and we definitely were recording. But I was asking you, when was the last time you flew Ryanair?
Gosh, probably a couple years ago.
No more boarding passes.
That's interesting.
Paper boarding passes. I think that it's not 100% true. They will allow only online check-in, but it looks to me like they're trying to get rid of paper. They're trying to get rid of all sorts of things. But under Ryanair's current policy, you have to have the Flexi Plus tickets, and if not, there are fees, obviously. But checking.
So do you have to have it if it's on your phone? Is that considered okay?
Correct. You have to have it on your phone. I'm sure that you have the ability to probably print it out if you still have a flip phone or something like that.
I see. Okay. All right. Or you should print it out before you go to the airport.
You most definitely should print out before you go to the airport.
Okay. In other words, they're not going to give you a boarding pass at the airport.
No, not even that. But they're going. They might do it, but they might charge you both an arm and a leg, maybe both legs.
Right.
55 pounds, I think it was. I saw in this article. Yeah. So 20 to 55 pounds. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I support this. I think that this is great because Ryanair is not a complicated thing. It's point to point mostly, right? And there's nothing that can go wrong with the technology. So I'm pretty good on that. So I think that's a good idea. Moving on to the best sign-up bonus that I wouldn't say if it's the best there is I've seen in a while, but the World of Hyatt credit card is one of the best
I agree.
offers that are out there for this. And now they've changed it up a little. Usually it's like 40,000 or 50,000 points, or maybe sometimes 60,000 to sign up for the card. They have kind of switched it up a little bit with an offer that dropped today, which is, according to them, their best offer ever. So you don't get the points. You get 5 free night vouchers from category 1 through 4. When you spend $4,000 on the card for signing up for the card, meaning that it's worth up to 90,000 points, which is, you multiply that with how many nights that is. So that means that obviously you have to stay at cheaper hotels, and the number of desirable properties are obviously not as many. So
it's not bad in Hyatt.
So looking at, for example, if you're going to go to Paris and you're going to stay at one of your favorite hotels in Paris, you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Unfortunately, but
to be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about this offer, because you get this an annual gift for that card. You get one of those category 1 through 4 vouchers, and then when you spend 15 grand, you get another one, and then there's also some tiers. So I think I earn like 4 or 5 of those per year. And I'm always having trouble using them because there aren't that many category 1 through 4. Bear in mind there are 8 different categories, right? So you have categories 1 through 8. And
I didn't know they went as high as 8.
It goes as high as 8. The Park Hyatt Vendôme is an 8. The Park Hyatt Zurich is an 8, and there are there are many 8s right now. The Alila in Napa Valley is an 8. Not that it should be, because you can buy that for like $400 or $500 now. But I think that yes, if you have a specific property in mind, this could work in your favor. But if you, for example, here's an example. So the Park Hyatt in Paris, if we say that the sign-up bonus for this card was 60,000 or 60 or 70,000 Hyatt points, which has happened before, at least 60,000. One night at this hotel during low season will be 35,000 points per night, right? Which means that 70,000 is 2 nights.
At the Park Hyatt in Paris?
The Park Hyatt Vendome will cost you $1,000-$1,500 a night,
yeah.
while the Etoile property will cost you $150 a night. So if you multiply up that by 5 nights, the value you get for those 5 nights is $750. Versus one night at the Park Hyatt Vendome for 35,000 points will cost you, is it 35,000 for the low? I think it is for the low season, for the Park Hyatt Vendome. So, or is it 40,000? Whatever. Regardless, though, it's still a better deal. So you're going to have to see if this is a good deal if you're okay staying at cheaper hotels. How does that sound?
Okay. All right.
KLM. We're not going to talk too much about this. They are doing major cuts in everything from labor productivity and pilot shortage and what sort of things like that. They are cutting back on investments. They are improving on existing and introducing new products on board are underway, expanding catering offerings. So not 100% sure what they're going to plan on cutting, but they're going to cut a ton of money. They're going to try and cut some, and they're also going to try and improve revenue. Not sure how that's going to go down, but it's not good news, and it seems like the revenge travel is definitely over, right?
Yep. I think it is definitely over. Yeah. You certainly see it in the regional airlines, who are all suffering too, by the way, in the United States. Oh, Taylor Swift, always good news.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, apparently she has just killed it when it comes to Airbnbs and hotels around the world during her tour. I mean, it changed entire budgets. Airbnb said their searches for rental stays for the recent Indianapolis concert was up by 1,400% for her performance dates from November 1 to 3. Vancouver Airbnb searches up 900% for the December 6th through 8th concert. I mean, this is just nuts.
This is crazy. So she's like, Elvis is nothing compared to this girl, is he?
No, I mean, of course, Airbnb didn't exist, nor did the internet in those days. But still, it is just phenomenal what she does for the economy of a city. I mean, look at all the work they have to do in Paris for the Olympics, and they didn't do very well in filling up hotels.
No, they didn't do well at all. It was funny. I was just watching some reels on Instagram yesterday about this guy who who bid on an auction to win a guitar that was signed by Taylor Swift. Did you see that?
No.
It's a guy who bid on a guitar that was signed by Taylor Swift, and he paid $4,000 for it. And he, as soon as he won it, he banged it up, smashed it up into little pieces because she didn't endorse Trump. So he showed her, didn't he?
What? I thought you were going to say he flipped it for $20,000 the next day, which is probably believable.
Well, it's just wouldn't know. But I guess he made a point by spending $4,000 of his money and show how he felt about Taylor Swift. I don't think that she even blinked. All that is a true money machine, and how popular she is just unbelievable.
It is. It really, really is. She was on Jimmy Kimmel just the other night. She was very impressive as a guest.
She was on Jimmy Kimmel the other night?
I think
I had no idea.
Yeah, she was very impressive, and she's very tall. I didn't know that. She's like 5'10".
There you go. Well, I would. That's same as Melinda. She's also 5'10". My wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exceptionally tall, but you often see these people.
Right.
These actresses are like a lot shorter than you ever imagined because you see them on screen. So big.
I'm going to have to do that. I was watching Kimmel earlier this week, but I fell asleep every time.
I think he does the best monologue in the business for the late night guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion.
I like it. Good times.
The
second last thing I have for today is that Marriott has changed their partnership, or is changing their partnership with Uber from the 14th of October, where this is like extra points coming into your account without you doing anything. They used to give you an earnings of between 6 Marriott point per dollar spent on Uber Eats and grocery delivery, unless
2 points if you book an Uber on Marriott's website.
I don't think that's kind of the gig how that works, because you have to book an
Starting
Uber.
October 14th.
I think you have to. It's just from the address.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know
You
it's
have
on
just
Marriott.
from the you have to just do it from, but they've changed it
And that's
now.
only for Uber
There's
X.
only all everything is negative. It's only for the extended stay hotels that where you will earn it now, versus you would earn it for up to 6 miles per dollar spent on all hotels before, and then also the Uber X. You get points on Uber X now, which you didn't earn before. So that's the only positive things on it. So it's
All
just
right. Well, here's
literally.
one, Tommy. If you read lower,
Hmm.
if you subscribe to Uber One, which costs $96 a year
Hmm.
and provides some discounts on rides and a few other perks, you'll get
Hmm.
Marriott's Silver Elite status thanks to the brand's partnership without ever staying in Marriott.
Yeah. Yeah,
So if
and
that,
which is their throwaway level. I mean,
I know, I
gold
know, but
doesn't
it's
even
better
give
than
you
nothing.
access to a club lounge, right?
No, it doesn't give you access to a club lounge, but you probably get free internet or something. I can't remember. It's
Yeah.
also, yeah.
I think that for at the end of the day, the winning. I try to not do so much Uber. Uber has, there are some credit cards that hasn't included and all this stuff, but they have so
Yep.
many fees and stuff. DoorDash is my go-to for food delivery. It's much better proposition. Comes for free with the I don't know which credit card it comes for free with anymore. To be honest with you, probably the Sapphire Reserve. I don't remember. Yeah, Sapphire Reserve, and then of course Lyft, 10 miles per dollar spent or 10 points per dollar spent. Sapphire on the Sapphire Reserve as well.
Yeah.
Plus you get the memberships and all that stuff, and also Lyft is just a better product than Uber these days. And the Uber stuff that you get with Amex. Do you ever use any of that stuff that you have with your Amex cards?
On Uber, no.
No. So
I mean, I
Uber.
think I have my cards linked to Uber and Lyft. I can't remember which ones, just like you. I can't remember which ones they are, but do
Yeah.
I get anything other than extra points?
You get a discount and some other things, but
Yeah.
the discounts is just a lot more with Lyft than it is with Uber. So that's
Well, since I bought a car after having a car for not 2 years, I haven't followed Uber and Lyft as closely as I should anymore. So
yeah. And you went into the electric. Oh, you actually didn't do that.
no, I
All
didn't.
right. So
Next car will be
la-
electric.
last thing I have for today is that Scandic Friends, one of the largest chains in the Nordics, hotel chains in the Nordics, they decided to change their loyalty program from September 1st, and I had some time to take a look at it. And I was able, because of our tours to Scandinavia, and also me traveling there, I was able to get status with them. And I was level 3 is what it's called, which is now changed.
Host friend.
Yeah, so they are actually. Have you ever heard of a hotel loyalty program that has 7 tiers?
No. Best friend,
It,
400,000 points. What do you get?
it's ridiculous, to be honest
Yearly
with you. It's
exclusive. Yeah.
absolutely so. There was a big. I dropped to level 3. I thought I was supposed to be level
Dear friend.
4. Dear friend. I only became a close friend. I thought I was third tier. Level 3, or it says close friend is now. So I get late checkout, 1 hour when available, and a €5 voucher. And if
Whoa.
I became dear friend, I would have still have €750 voucher, which I used to have. That level, dear friend level, I used to have €10, and now you have to have the much higher level to get a €10 voucher, and it's kind of an
Loyal
interesting.
friend. Right.
Yeah, so it's a devaluation, and it's confusing, and it's stupid. I have no idea what the hell why would they have so many tiers, and it just makes people kind of confused, and it defies the purpose defeats the purpose of having a smart loyalty program that people understand, making them make smarter decision about where to stay and what to do.
All right. It's October 3rd, 2024, as we record this. All the information we've dispensed in this 45 minutes or hour is current as far as we know. But if you're watching after October 3rd and something in here really speaks to you, make sure you go to the source and make sure it's still accurate. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Tommy and me and chatting, which we do periodically. So stay tuned. Take care.